Not much. I did go to STAR's Economic Forum last Friday, Coliseum. Had Dr. Ed Siegfried there again. A few tidbits I jotted down. If you haven't refinanced your home in the last 15 to 18 months, he strongly recommends you do so. This is just for general public. There was probably 200 plus businessmen and people there. Land is still your best investment. He gave us 5 reasons why the feds aren't going to mess with the interest rate. That's why he suggested. One is fear of long-term unemployment. They acknowledge a weakening recovery. More help for the housing sector. They got to see that there's more help. Will not raise interest rates until the economy is booming. And I figure the descent continues small until after the election to see what's happening. Small business investors, people like this. Said one of the best ways for the United States to get back on is stop importing oil from OPEC. He suggested more drilling in Pennsylvania, North Dakota are the 2 hot spots right now. In Pennsylvania, which he is a resident of, says they have many, many years of natural gas under the shale. The main thing you get in there, the environmentalists on fracking, where they drill down a mile, horizontal a mile. He showed us a video of how that's done. And they did an experiment with an 18-wheeler going from Harrisburg to someplace, I don't know where it was. And it cost $184 in diesel fuel. Some way, coming back, it was reconverted into that truck with natural gas. And it costs $28. There is a place in Texas now, and this will be, maybe it's out now, I'm not sure, but it's just experimental, of taking natural gas and converting it into diesel fuel. He says, get your eyes on this and watch it. It's going to make a difference. How much only determines. You know, your Swan trucks right now are going propane.
Yep, I see
Swan's trucks are going on propane fuel. He says you're going to see a big conversion. Now, why do I put so much confidence in this gentleman? This is about the 4th or 5th straight year that I have heard him. And most of the things he has said in the past about unemployment, about interest rates, about loans, banking and everything, that's been pretty well on target. So now I'm not in the banking business, I'm not in refinancing homes, but you know, if he says that, and I don't know when the last time was we refinanced, but we're looking at it. He says anything below 3%, he says you'll save money. Depending upon the length you go. If you want to go 5 years, 15, 30, that's up to you and your lending institution. So outside of that, the only other thing, we had the insurance representative from Travelers here, Jen, Glenn LaRue, myself. Was there anyone else that went around with him? And this fella went to the jail. I didn't make it to that, but to the highway. Talking about accidents, liability, driver's training, everything that we could do to cut down on our claims. this has to do with automobile, general liability, malpractice, property, and workers' comp. For the last 3 years, we've had claims in the amount of 660,000 plus. However, one claim was 432,000. So you take that and divide that by 3, our claims per year have not been, I don't think, outstanding. Although we are looking at, Jen assigned the criteria for motor vehicles, registration, what we can do with people driving those cars, criteria that we will establish to be sure that they're within reason of what we expect under employee conduct. And we're going to have to do a little changing maybe so we do not contradict what's in our policy handbook at this time. But we met this morning and we're going to meet again on November 19th and try to come up with a criteria, how we're going to meet those standards of criteria. And if we have people that do not, in other words, if they have 3 or 4 accidents and they're at fault, then we'll probably be asking questions before they get to the 4th one. He did pass out, he didn't pass out, he gave information out, I should say. I about passed out when I read some of the reasons that we had claims filed. We had 2 drivers that fell asleep.
At the county
you
level?
You aware of that?
No, sir.
Yeah, I wasn't either till I read this. One claim was paid, the other was not. We had one individual, I can't remember if I gave her name, I don't believe so. But this information, we had one information, made a stop, got out of his car, started toward the vehicle, forgot his flashlight, went back to his car, his head ran into the car. This is a patrolman, the sheriff, and we had a claim of almost $5,000 to get him back up. Now, you know, these are things that we're looking at to say, okay, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have these things and it increases. We're trying to be fair with you, with your insurance of all kinds and what you pay on health insurance or anything else. But it's going, if we don't come up with something to satisfy these gentlemen and travelers, we're probably going to see a continued increase. And we have 45 days. Glenn LaRue is looking at the jail. What are you doing, Jen?
Sexual harassment and I didn't bring that other one down.
Okay, but Pam is working with Karen. Some of the things we're doing, and we talked about that today, of every year working with BMV and getting an updated record, because they could go out here if they were driving their own car, get a speeding ticket or something. You might not know, probably wouldn't know, especially if they take the deferred way out and just pay the fine and stuff. So anyway,
and
I've taken long enough.
I think, well, no, but I think there's one more thing to that, and you probably discussed it. It's my understanding we don't have proof that the people who drive high speeds are trained often enough on those. Is that, am I stating it right? In other words, we used to call it EVOC when in the ambulance business, the Emergency Vehicle Operator course. And
he is, there's a fella coming from, where did he say, Fort Wayne or someplace, or an office to show or to give them instruction on what to do. One of the questions that I had for the group was, do we need a different criteria for someone that's on an emergency run compared to someone that's hauling a load of stone, not going as fast? Should someone, and it follows with what you're saying.
Yes. The answer is yes. It's 2 totally different things. I mean, they both have to be careful in their own rights.
Yeah.
But Patty and I both saw this. On the east side of the school is a little street that comes out onto 205. 205, there's a street on the east and the west. We're on the east street. A Whitley County deputy he is eastbound, and I believe I'm a good enough judge of speed from my various years. He was running in excess of 70 mile an hour in that section of town. Now that's common sense. I mean, I don't care what the emergency is. That's common, that disobeys common sense, that you drive that fast in town. That's the kind of thing that's just going to lead to other things. And the way it can be, I'll tell you how it got nipped in the bud at EMS, really and truly, and it was awful. It was horrible for those of us that were there. And that is, we put fail-safe units on the truck. And when you go over the speed limit, you get this awful squawking noise, or when you turn too sharp, or you brake too quick. And it's all recorded. So it all goes into a computer. And it knows when you're running red lights and siren, and it knows when you're not running red lights and siren. So, honestly, if there aren't trends to change towards our driving habits, I would say it's not with that. I think it's within reason that we talk about putting fail-safe units on the cars.
Well, we're looking on all.
$600,000 over what, 3 years?
What?
600,000 over 3 years, but one was 400.
660,000, one of them was 432,000. Of course, that was a deputy that missed the curve. Road was slick, unfamiliar, but it's still dollar sign. Just very quickly, automobile claims were 116,000, general liability 2,000, malpractice 47,000, property 15,000, workers' comp almost 480,000.
Yeah.
And that includes people slipping in the parking lot. It includes everything.
Oh, sure.
Property is wind damage, which we have had some.
Can we go back to malpractice?
Yeah.
What?
I knew you were going to probably.
Well, that just threw me. 47,000 is a lot of money, and I'm not sure because it could be. It doesn't have to be medical malpractice. It can be.
It's not medical.
Okay. All right.
Just malpractice. Most of it wrongful arrest.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep. I know exactly which one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Claimant was arrested for driving while intoxicated, was taken to the jail. 25,000. We just approved that not too long ago. So out of the 47, 25,000. 8,200 for your information, cease and desist order. And you'll see this individual evidently December 7th, so you know who that is. So, you know.
We think it's one and the same person.
Yep.
Here's one for criminal trespass was not paid. Here's one for tort claim, 14,000. So you got about 3 of them there.
Yeah.
I won't bore the people, but it's their
tax money though.
Yeah.
Man. Well, thank you for that report. I'm not sure. That was
You're
costly.
not sure.
That's a costly report.
I worked all night on getting that ready because I knew you were going to call on it.
Wow.
Gee, and then you said you're not impressed.
Thanks for going to the Star Financial.
That's very interesting.
Well, I thought the best comment was the fact that you've seen this guy now 4 or 5 times, and he's been pretty much dead on. So
He's been pretty
probably
much
ought to wake up and smell the roses. So I hate to go finance my house, so now that I got it paid off, just to have.
Well, all of us aren't as fortunate as you,
No,
Mr.
just kidding. Okay, anything else, sir?
No, thank you.
George.